Hey guys, Manny from the Goods Podcast here. All flash, no substance. Here to give you my top 5 of lesser known 80s cartoons. You saw Terrence's take on it, and he had some pretty good ones, stuff that I didn't even think about. Brave Star, I thought that should have been in his top 5, but it is what it is. So allow me to give you my top 5 80s lesser known cartoons, and I start with Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget was basically a cyborg that had all these different gadgets all over the place. He had an answer for everything. The best thing about it was that it was voiced by Don Adams, Mr. Maxwell Smart from Get Smart himself, and he didn't miss a beat as Inspector Gadget. Of course, he wasn't really the brains. I think Penny was more the brains than anything, and she did a majority of the work, but it is what it is. Inspector Gadget was just an awesome cartoon from back in the day, and way better than Matthew Broderick's take, but that's a story for another day. So my number 4 is Cops. So all of my partners out there on Twitter, we had a discussion about Cops not too long ago, and how can you go wrong with a main protagonist named Bulletproof? I mean, that's just freaking awesome. He was cool. He was smooth. It's like Michael Jai White before Michael Jai White. So you got to go with Cops. Crazy names, for the villains. You got Miss Demeanor. It was like, stuff like that. So it was actually pretty cool. Guilty pleasure of mine. I loved Cops. Number 3 is Rambo. And how do you go wrong with an intro like that? And everything's all Jin Jin, and he does he ties his shoes, and Jin Jin, and he does his bandana, Jin Jin, everything is all Jin Jin. It was awesome. Either way, Rambo was sweet. That was at the height of Rambo's popularity after Rambo First Blood Part 2. So you cannot go wrong with Rambo. Wasn't voiced by Stallone, but it's okay. Still was an awesome cartoon for me. Number 2 was Mask. Now that's master debatable on whether or not that should be a lesser known cartoon. But to be honest with you, a lot of people really don't know about Mask. And, you had Tracker, and you had all of these awesome vehicles that would transform into other vehicles. They weren't like just Transformers or anything like that, but they didn't turn to robots, but they transformed into other vehicles. So you had one that hologram on, and he would make holograms, and it was awesome. And he would have a bike. It was yellow, and it would turn into a helicopter. Sweet. Never had I had the helicopter bike. Never could find the damn Camaro. Neighbor had it. I wanted to punch that kid and take it, but I couldn't. Yeah, something about being a good man, I guess, a good boy. But either way, it was awesome freaking cartoon. Everybody had different masks, and all the masks had different powers. And like, you just cannot go wrong with Mask. I know that's more or less, that could be a top, one of the top more known, but I don't think a lot of people know about Mask. So screw it. I'm putting it in my top 5 at number 2. Number 1, I agree with Terrence 100%. Same argument could go to just as I did with Mask, and that is Silverhawks. Silverhawks was basically Thunderhawks, because Terrence is right. It's basically Thundercats, and you had Monstar, who was really Mumra because he was a little weak old robot, and then he would turn into this mighty big robot. So but there's just something about Silverhawks that was just so underrated to me. From you had Copper Kid, you had the little kid, in the gold, he was all coppered up, and Bluegrass. I just loved Bluegrass. I could not find that damn freaking figure anywhere. And then you had the other main guys on there, and it was just an awesome cartoon. I freaking loved it. I actually, and this is an unpopular opinion, but yeah, I like Silverhawks better than Thundercats. That's just me. I mean, Thunderhawks, whatever. Not taking it away from Lion-O, because I love Lion-O, and I love, Panthro, and I still think Vin Diesel should play Panthro. But either way, I have a soft spot for Silverhawks. So that is my number 1. Let me give you some honorable mentions. Can't go wrong with DuckTales. Catchy ass song. Galaxy High. If you guys have not seen Galaxy High, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it was okay. I liked it. It's a guilty pleasure, right? Snorks, which was basically Smurfs underwater. Beetlejuice. I mean, everybody knows Beetlejuice, but a lot of people didn't know that was actually a cartoon, and the cartoon was actually pretty funny. And I used to watch it with my little brother Emilio out there, and he would always call Lydia Babes. So me and him used to watch it when he was little, and I started calling him Babes, and to this day he's 35-year-old man, and I still call him Babes. But anyway, Beetlejuice is awesome. Mr. T, hey, he even had a cereal. And Mr. T breakfast, Mr. T cereal, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and hey, I pity the fool with my Mr. T cereal. But either way, it doesn't matter because the cover, on the cover of that cereal box was Mr. T cartoon. Mr. T was awesome. And of course, I'm going to throw a shout out now for Uncle Ago out there. You brought up Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. Some would argue whether or not that was a well-known, but WWF back then was pretty popular. So I'm going to say that it was a well-known cartoon. So I'm not going to put that on there, but I wanted to shout out Uncle Ago for bringing that one up. I'm going to send a shout out for Battle of the Planets. And this was Macross before Macross, I guess. But this was some pretty cool anime for back in the day. Now, this thing was made actually in 1978. And I grew up watching this thing, and the thing that always got me the most about this was the kid in the white suit, or the guy in the white suit, blue visor, and he had the wings. It was awesome. I love Battle of the Planets. It was just one of my favorites. So let us know what your top 5 lesser known cartoons are. Terrence and I hopefully will be back in the Boom Boom Room to give you the more popular 80s cartoons that are out there. Some might be controversial on my part because I know that a lot of y'all aren't going to agree, but maybe some of y'all will. Either way, hit the like button, subscribe, hit Terrence up on Facebook, hit me up on Twitter. Everybody be safe in this trying time. It's getting pretty serious out there, but can't break our spirits, can't break our strength, can't break us. So everybody stick together, but far apart, and hopefully we will get through this. But we'll definitely have everybody in our prayers, and I appreciate the hell out of all of y'all. So for Aspen upstairs and Art wherever the hell he's at, and Terrence at work, I'm Manny, and we'll talk to you soon.